Good evening, Fernwood. It is me, your pop culture saturated pal Neil, and it's time for us to soak in it together watching a new episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Today we'll be watching June 28th, 1976's episode. That's the start of week 26, Monday of that week, and in fact, that would be the final week of season 1. I don't know if that means some of our big storylines are going to come to an end and maybe start new things next week, but we'll find out as we go, won't we? We had a lot of stuff happen last week, so let's take a look at a general overview and then look at Friday's episode, and then I think we'll be able to get started. Over at the Hartmans, Mary has been really busy because she won a contest naming her the most typical consumer housewife. She's had a documentary crew shooting her life over the last week. It's been pretty nutty, and she's really had no room to breathe. Tom has been numbing his emotions with alcohol for several weeks at this point, although he is finally back in the household for at least a few days. He had been staying with Ed and Howard McCullough, who came out of the closet to him, and that maybe sparked a move towards coming back home. However, he's not too troubled by their gayness as much as other things that he will be troubled by very soon. Over at the Shumways, Martha has been very excited to meet her birth father, Billy Twelvetrees, who has made a pretty fun connection with most of the members of the Shumway family, although Grandpa Larkin seems to feel a little left out because Billy Twelvetrees gets all of the attention. Billy himself is a member of the Choctaw Nation and has some connections to old Hollywood movie making, and also has lived experience as an alcoholic who has gone through recovery. Kathy has been working with Cleet Meisenheimer over at Action 6 News, and in fact they have started to click a little bit, at least enough for Cleet and Kathy to make wedding plans. So there's some stuff going on there, although that's a bit more complicated than I just made it sound. Then over at the Hager residence, Loretta and Charlie have been moving towards a secular career path for Loretta, who recorded Vitamin L a few weeks earlier and maybe is a bit disappointed by the success the song's not quite having just yet. Of course, they are involved with the Universal Mission Crusade with Jimmy Joe Jeter and his father Merle. Merle asked Loretta to come to Chicago to appear with them, and Loretta turned down that opportunity because she wants to spend more time with Charlie. Of course, Jimmy Joe feels some sadness because he was starting to connect to Loretta, and as that happens, Merle makes a solemn vow that Jimmy Joe will have a new mother, and of course that mother would be Loretta. Over at the McCullough residence, we have Ed, Howard, and Betty McCullough. Ed and Howard are still struggling with being a gay couple in the closet. Howard would be very happy to stay in the closet. Ed wants to come out and have a public wedding, and Betty is intent on setting up Howard with Mary Hartman because, of course, that's some idea that a parent in the 1970s might have. Last Friday, we started with a scene between Kathy and Cleet Meisenheimer. Since Cleet Meisenheimer is Catholic and they are planning to get married, Kathy is planning to convert to Catholicism. That's kind of a big thing going on. Right after that, Mary says goodbye to the film crew that had been making chaos of her life for the last few days. She's very excited by that, but then she is interrupted by Betty McCullough, who comes to make a final request that Mary sleep with her son Howard. We'll see how that goes. Then over at the church, Kathy is met again by Father DeMarco, who she very clearly has feelings for. And even though Kathy is very clear that she has feelings for him and he realizes that she has feelings for him, Father DeMarco makes sure to say, hey, this is not the right place to go. This is not a relationship that we can have. That's not a thing. And then finally, over at the Hartman residence, Howard is sent over with some dessert, and that leads to a conversation which leads to Mary suggesting that they should kiss, and they do. And they do. And the upshot of that, of course, is that Howard comes away extremely clear that there is no latent heterosexuality in his life. Of course, Howard gives Mary an affectionate kiss, and as soon as that happens, Tom Hartman walks in, drunk off his tuchus as usual, and sees that kiss, and I guess that's where we're starting this week.
Now, wait a minute.
Oh, wait, you keep out of this. Now,
you don't understand.
You keep out of this. Now, what the hell's going on here, huh? Well?
Now, you got the wrong impression altogether.
I mean,
Mary and I are friends, and all we were doing is...
Quiet! Quiet! Stop! Don't everybody talk at once now. Oh, what the hell is going on here between you two under my own roof? What's going on?
It's not your roof anymore. If you remember, you left this house. And if it's anybody's roof, it's my roof.
Never mind about the roof. I don't care about the roof. I want to know what the hell's going on here between you two, huh? Huh? Only I don't have to even ask you because I already know. I saw it with my own two eyes. I saw you two.
Well, what you saw is not what you saw.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? Mary, don't give me some damn gobbledygook. Come on.
Oh, come on, Tom. You got no right to talk to her that way.
Wait a minute. That happens to be my wife. I can talk to her any damn way I please.
Well, she happens to be a friend of mine, and
Shut
I'm
up!
going to let you talk to her.
You shut up now. You shut up or I'm going to knock your teeth right down your throat. Now, I've had enough out of you. Now, I know what time out of your lousy racket, what kind of game you're playing. You understand what you're doing? You make out like you don't care about women.
Stop it!
Hey.
Stop it!
Hey.
Stop it!
Hey, Mary, take it easy now.
There's just too much noise around here. Can anyone be peaceful anymore? We were just trying to be nice. Can't we be nice? We were trying to be nice.
That's right,
I was trying to be nice to him. I was kissing him to be nice to him. His mother requested it. That's why I was doing it.
Wait a minute. You and my mother? She talked you into butting into my private business?
Oh, come on, your mother butts in everybody's
Now, you stay
private.
out of this.
You stay out of this. Come on, never mind about your mother. I don't want to hear about
How
it.
could you do
I'm
that
trying
to me,
explain something to
Mary?
my wife.
I
Now,
thought
come
you were
on.
my friend. I trusted you. And now I find that you were conspiring with my mother behind my back.
Howard. What kind of a woman are you?
What kind of a woman are you, Mary?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to answer the phone now. I'm sorry.
Hey, hang
Hello?
up that phone.
Hello,
Will you
Mrs. Hartman.
shut up?
Will you hang up that phone?
Will you shut up?
I beg your pardon?
I'm sorry, I wasn't talking to you. Hello, who is this?
This is David Susskind.
Look, I'm in a highly emotional state now, and I'm really in no mood for games. I'm just in a very highly emotional state, so please don't play games with me. Who is this?
David Susskind. I'm calling from New York City.
Look, is this an obscene phone call? Because I'm really too emotional to be obscene right now.
Mrs. Hartman, this is David Susskind. I'm calling to talk to you about a television show we're going to do. With you as the typical American consumer housewife.
This is David Susskind?
Yes.
It's David Susskind.
Look, I don't care if it's David Eisenhower. Hang up!
I saw the film clips of your typical American life, and I just wanted to tell you I thought they were delightful.
He thinks I'm delightful.
I'm very sanguine about the show we're going to do.
Are you sanguine? Is that good?
The show's going to be a major contribution to television's cultural development. It's going to go down in the annals of the media as a hallmark.
A Hallmark? Oh, is that going to be one of the sponsors? Because I just thought they did the condolence card.
Look, Mary, I'm
Waiting for an
Mary.
explanation, Mary.
Hello, could you wait a minute? What? Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Did you receive your airplane ticket for the
yes.
flight tomorrow?
Yes, I did. It's tourist, and I'm ready.
I'm leaving, Mary.
Okay.
And I
Wait a
can't
minute,
help.
Aaron,
I
hold
can't
on,
help but feel
hold on.
that
Could
you've
you
been
please-
conspiring against me with my
Oh,
mother.
please, just wait a minute. Tom,
No, I'm leaving too. I'm
please,
leaving.
Mr.
Mary. That's
Susskind,
good.
hold
I've had
on,
it.
please.
I've had it with you.
Please
No,
don't
well,
do
you've been
this.
acting
Tom,
disgraceful.
Please
Yeah,
don't
I'm
do
leaving.
this, Tom. Mr. Susskind. Hello? Hello?
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Ed.
How's it going?
Okay.
Listen, I hope you're not still teed off at me.
Well, I have to be teed off you, but, huh?
Well, I didn't exactly level with you.
Well, that's all right. About what? You mean you and Howard? Look, what you guys do in private, that's none of my business anyway.
Geez, I'm glad you feel that way, Tom.
Yeah? I wish I could feel the same way about Howard.
What do you mean?
I mean, I wish his private life was none of my business, but it is.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Howard fooling around with Mary.
Howard and fooling... Look, you don't mean that,
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Yeah, I mean that.
What, Howard?
Yeah,
You gotta
Howard.
be kidding.
I'm not kidding. You think I'd kid about something like that? I don't kid about my wife being unfaithful. I mean, she's not exactly my wife anymore, but I don't kid about things like that.
Howard and Mary? Where the hell did you ever hear anything about that?
I didn't hear it, Ed. I saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it with my own two eyes in my own house under my own roof. They were hugging and kissing and sexing up a storm.
Oh, come on, Tom. You gotta be putting me on.
I'm not. Look, do I look like I'm putting you on, huh?
Since when do they have fortune cookies at the Capri Lounge?
Well, if you call in advance and order them, you can get them here. I thought it might be fun. I hope you like them.
Like them, I absolutely adore them. And you know, I believe them. There hasn't been one that I haven't opened that did not tell me the truth.
Well, good. Let's open one up and see who's in your future.
Okay. You're in my future.
What did it say?
It says you will meet a young, handsome man and fall madly in love and have lots and lots of children.
And live happily ever after.
No, it doesn't say that.
Well, that's the implied. I mean, what woman wouldn't be happy with me and lots of children?
Well, you're right. What woman wouldn't be happy with you?
We agree.
But what woman would be happy with lots and lots of children?
Oh, Kathy, lots and lots of women have lots and lots of children. My mom had 8.
But was she happy?
Who would be happy married to my father? Anyway, I'll tell you, she'd be a lot more unhappy if she didn't have all the kids she had.
Yeah, but don't you think that she might have been a little happier if she could get out, maybe had a career?
A career? My mother? Oh, no. Are you kidding? My mother was a woman, Kathy. A real woman.
So what am I, chopped liver?
No, you're a real woman, too.
But a real woman with a difference. A real woman who wants a career.
A career? What career?
My television career.
Oh, come on. That's only fun and games. I mean, they hardly even pay you over there. Whereas with me, it's only a matter of weeks, maybe days till I go national. And I certainly don't want you stuck here at some yokel Fernwood TV station while I'm in New York replacing Walter Cronkite.
You replacing Walter Cronkite? You've got to be kidding.
Oh, I most certainly am not. I mean, look how old he is and how young I am. And I'll tell you something else. Lowell Thomas, there's another guy who's packing it in. I'll tell you something. Walter, baby, is not going to last forever.
You're not going to replace Walter Cronkite.
Well, why not? Haven't I got the sex appeal to go national?
The wrong kind.
Well, what do you mean the wrong kind of sex appeal?
You appeal to women.
I should hope so.
Don't you? The trend is to appeal to men. Haven't you heard of Barbara Walters? I mean, if one of us is going to have a career that we have to bet on, let's bet on mine.
Oh, great. Who's going to have the kids?
You have the kids.
Well, this is it, Betty. You finally got what you wanted. You're getting rid of me.
I wish we could part friends, Ed. There's really no reason why we shouldn't.
No?
All I've ever wanted is what's best for Howard. What will make him happy. I'm sure that's what you want for him, too. And it's something I want for you, too, Ed. Very sincerely, I hope that you find someone soon to replace Howard in your life.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. When I do, it'll be somebody who isn't ashamed of what he is. I'm through living my life in a closet.
Charlie, is that you, honey?
I was coming home from the supermarket, honey. I saw him sitting on the curbstone.
Loretta, give me some toilet paper right away. I need some toilet paper right away. Come on.
Taking the little boy.
No. I don't have to go to the little room. I just need some toilet paper. You see, I got the comb.
Howard, what are you talking about?
I was talking about those beautiful for spacious skies. What do you mean, what am I talking about? I got a comb. I need some toilet paper, all right? I mean, that's what you got to play with. You got to have toilet paper. I met a guy down the street. He was playing it. He didn't play it at all. I can play it a hell of a lot better than he can. So please, come on, give me some toilet paper. I need some toilet, or should I say toilet tissue? Is it toilet paper or toilet tissue? I don't mean to be crude, you know. Give me some toilet tissue. You know what? I never said that before. Toilet tissue. It sounds like a sissy, does it? Toilet tissue.
Tom, you got to start straightening yourself out. You got to start right now. I mean, I got some pamphlets here I picked up from the alcoholism counseling session at the plant. Honey, where did they go?
Oh, honey, you know better than to put anything of value.
Hey, wait a minute. Look, I don't need no pamphlets. You can't play a comb with a pamphlet. Come on now, Loretta. You're a musician. You understand that, don't you?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I understand that, and there's something else I understand, Tom Hartman, too.
What?
I'll tell you what it is. There is something terrible troubling you, hon, and it's something bad. That's what it is.
No, there ain't nothing bad troubling me. There's no problem. So my wife asked another man to marry her. Big deal. So what? Now, you think something like that's going to trouble me? The only trouble I got in this house is there's no toilet paper in this house. How about Kleenex? You got Kleenex? Huh? A little Kleenex. No double ply stuff or anything like that, because no matter how, too many plies, it's no good. You know that. I mean, the thinner the paper, the better music you can make. Right, Loretta? You know that.
Mary did what?
Yeah, what was this about Mary with some guy?
I don't want to talk about Mary now. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, you better talk about her, hon. I mean, what do you mean saying she asked someone else to marry her? She wouldn't do that.
Look, I don't want to talk. You want to know something? I heard that from that person's mother. That man's own mother told me that. Now, please, Loretta, give me some toilet tissue.
Honey, go get him some toilet paper. Tom, listen to me. Tom, now listen to me. You honestly telling me, are you really seriously telling me that Mary told you she wanted to marry somebody else?
Yeah, not only does she want to marry him, she wants to make it with him. How about them apples, huh?
I don't believe them apples.
How about them apples? Well, that's the truth, Charlie. You think I'm going to lie to you, huh? Think I'm going to lie to you? Anyway, I don't care about that. All I want to do is I want to play music. Have you ever heard, "Oh, beautiful for spacious skies on a comb"? Honest to God, Charlie, you're going to love it. Believe me, you'll love it.
Now,
Beautiful.
here's this TP that you want, and I want to hear about this accusation you're making against Mary, my very best friend in the whole wide world, because I want to tell you something, Tom Hartman. She loves you. She does not want to marry anybody else. Why, she thinks her marriage vows and nuptial vows and everything is as sacred as Charlie and I think ours are.
Right.
Well, look, I don't want to hear about no nuptial vows or anything like that. I don't give a damn about
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. You do, too, give a damn, and you give a big damn, and I tell you why. That's why you're making so much fuss over this 10-cent comb.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Because your heart is breaking.
My heart is not breaking.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Tom. It's obvious your heart is breaking, and you got to talk about it, Tom. You got to get rid of it. You got to tell us what's on your heart. Tell us what's on your mind.
I'm not going to tell you what's on my heart or nothing like that, Charlie. I ain't going to do it.
Tom, you're falling apart right in front of us. Now, spit it out. Get rid of it. Talk about it. You'll feel better for telling us.
Okay, you want to know? How would you like it if Loretta was going to lay down with Howard McCullough? Huh? How would you like that? You wouldn't like that, would you? Anyway, I'm a singer. I'm a musician. I don't want to talk about that anymore. You're going to love this. You're just going to love it.
Howard, I'm in the den. Well, you must have had a very nice visit. You were over at Mary's for quite a long time.
It wasn't a nice visit. It was a very short visit, and I have been for a long walk.
Oh?
I do not want to come home angry, Mother, because what I have to say to you is very important. But that long walk did not do me any good. I am still angry. I could have walked all the way to the Indiana border and back, and I would still be angry. But I'm going to say to you what I have to say.
What's wrong, Howard?
What's wrong? You conspire behind my back with Mary, and you ask me what's wrong.
Oh, Howard, I didn't conspire. I just made a few suggestions that I thought might make life a little bit happier for two confused people.
Mother, I am not confused. I am mad.
Oh, but, darling, you are confused about what you are. Very confused. It's in your charts. I read it in your palm and your numerology.
Oh, stop it. It's a bunch of hogwash you use to get what you want. That is a bunch of nonsense you use to influence people. You know, you've always wanted to be a queen bee. But you know what you are, Mother? You're a meddler.
You're a troublemaker. Well, this time you really made trouble for Mary. Why don't you leave that poor woman alone? She's got enough problems without you mixing in with her.
Well, now that was Ed's fault.
Ed's fault? What the hell are you talking about?
He brought Tom into this house, and that's what got our two households so involved.
No, that's a bunch of nonsense, and you know it. Oh, Tom was in trouble. He was down and out, so Ed helped him out. He's a nice guy that way, but you don't like him, do you?
Of course I like him.
You never approved of him. You have never approved of us. You never have.
I don't disapprove. Society does. All I've ever wanted is what's best for you, what will make you happy. And in order for you to be happy, society has to be happy.
Oh, come on, that's a bunch of nonsense. I don't give a damn about society, and society doesn't give a damn about me. You can be sure of that.
Then you will never know happiness.
Well, then I will be exactly what I am. I'm exactly what Ed has always said I am. I am a coward without the courage of my convictions. I am a man who has always been willing to live in a closet. Well, he's been right. He has always been right, and he's been right about you, Mother. Well, I have seen the light. I am finally now able to say, well, I am going to come out. I'm going to do exactly what Ed has always wanted us to do.
Oh, Howard, you don't mean...
Oh, yes, I do. I am going to come out in the open. I am going to stop sneaking around. And I'm going to stop letting you interfere with my life. I'm going to marry Ed.
You can't.
Oh, yeah? Why not?
It's impossible.
Why impossible? You want to tell me that?
Because Ed is gone. He has left you.
What?
Mm-hmm. Well, Tom never acted that way before he started drinking. Well, we used to yell at each other a lot, but that's normal for married people. I mean, we're practically unmarried now, and he's still yelling at me, and I just don't think that's normal. Well, I'm sure it's because he's drinking too much. I mean, I want to help him, Ma, but I don't know what to do.
Well, Mary, I wish I could help you, but I'm not an expert on alcoholism. About the only thing I'm really expert on is making bread pudding, but I don't think that would cure alcoholism.
Ma, I just can't stand it anymore. What am I going to do?
Well, when your uncle, Uncle Fred, that's the uncle you never knew, when he started drinking, we took him to a hypnotist.
So did that help?
Oh, Fred never gave it a fair chance.
You mean he quit going to the hypnotist?
Yes, but he couldn't help it. No, after his first visit, he got run over by a trolley car and cut in half. Yes. He died.
Ma, there's somebody at the front door, and I gotta go. You've been a very big help. Thank you very much.
You just ruined Howard's life.
Me? How?
By making him think he is what he is.
Well, I mean, how did I make him think he is what he is? I mean, wouldn't he know what he was?
Well, he isn't really what he is, of course. But you just spoiled his last chance of finding that out. And that's not all.
There's more?
And you just ruined his last chance to be happy being what he is. Because on account of you, Ed has walked out on him, and now Howard has nothing.
Well, how could you say that? I mean, he's the most wonderful thing a person can have. He's you, his mother.
Oh, well, he has rejected me, thanks to you.
Oh, that's my fault, too?
Of course. Oh, I thought I could trust you, Mary Hartman, but you are a family buster. You have ruined your family, and now you've ruined mine. And I just hope that someday you have a son who appears homosexual, but who really deep down inside likes girls, and that someone, anyone, will louse up his chance to find himself out.
Hi, Mrs. McCullough. What's eating her?
Oh, she just said that I ruined Howard's life because I didn't know something about what he is, or I said that I knew what he was.
I don't understand what you're talking about. You were so mixed up in strangers' lives that you have no time for your sister, your very own flesh and blood sister. And when I come to my older sister for advice, you are never there. And I need it. I just had a terrible experience with Cleet at the Capri Lounge. He treated me like a sex object.
Well, at the Capri Lounge? Really? With all those people watching? Were you in a booth at least?
You make no sense. I don't know why I ever ask you for advice. You make no sense.
Well, I make sense to myself. And that's all that's important. Hello, helpline. Listen, before you tell me your problem, I just want you to know that I'm under terrible emotional stress now, and I can only help you if it's a very small problem, okay? Very small. Who? The phone company? I'm sorry, the helpline isn't for business problems. No. Oh, no, you can't shut off this phone. You can't shut off this phone, please. This is the helpline. I mean, how can we help people if there's no answer when they call up for help? The telephone bill? How much? $236.66? Oh, no, that can't be. I'm sorry, your computer must have made a mistake. You see, I only take incoming calls here. I mean, I never collect calls. So you see, that bill, it has to be a mistake. That's just it's a mistake there. I mean, it's a computer mistake. You know, I don't mean to be rude here. I really don't, because we all make mistakes. And, okay, look. No, you cannot connect. You can't disconnect this phone. I need this phone. You can't disconnect this helpline. Hello? 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 Hello?
There is so much to talk about this episode. Before I get to my feelings on what happened this episode, I want to do a spotlight on an artist that I discovered last week on the social medias. That's an artist named Johan Deckman, who is a psychotherapist out of Copenhagen. And what Johan Deckman does is he creates faux self-help books that I feel are really on point for the way we think about our mental health, and some of which are really on point with how Mary and the various characters on the show might feel. So each day this week, I'm going to pick out 2 of the covers of the 40 that I've collected that I think reflect on the characters that we've come to know and love and empathize with and all of the feelings. So let's pick one for Mary. And I feel like Mary very much struggles with the need to appear sane. And then I'll pick another one for Tom. And you, Tom, you have confused so many bottles of liquor for things that you should be drinking. Back to today's episode, we had a lot going on, and it started right on the tail end of Tom walking in on Howard and Mary last Friday. And this was just a both barrels kind of screaming match between Tom and Mary about the basic betrayal that Tom feels. We can talk a little bit more about Tom's state as we go, but Mary lets on that Betty asked Mary to kiss Howard, and that sets Howard off, and we have a few different domino racks that have been set up to fall domino by domino. So then, as Mary is interrupted by David Susskind, who was a famous producer and TV host of the time, and that just means that Mary cannot focus on the problems right in front of her in her own living room, and thus Tom walks out and Howard walks out, and even that stupid interrupting phone call gets cut off because that's just where we are. Mary cannot have nice things. We head over to the Capri Lounge where another domino gets hit, and Tom tells very clearly to Ed that he caught Mary and Howard making out. Of course, a nice peck on the cheek was all he really saw, but he portrays it as them getting sexed up, and that just can't be a good feeling for Ed, who walks out angrily as well. Domino 2 has been hit. Over in another corner of the Capri Lounge, we see an argument between Kathy and Clete Meisenheimer. Some of that is fed by the fact that really they barely know each other, and taking the time to know what your partner wants out of a relationship with you seems pretty important, but they did not take the time to do that. Not to mention that Kathy is starting to see herself as having a television career, and Cleet completely undermines that because he's a misogynist and a member of the patriarchy. Anyone can be a member of the patriarchy, but Cleet clearly has shown his patriarchy card as we go. We cut over the McCulloughs where Ed, suitcase in hand, blames Betty for everything, as she really deserves. And then we see Loretta and Charlie supporting their very drunk friend Tom, who's just trying to put a comb and some toilet paper together to make a playable kind of kazoo thing. It was pathetic to watch. Then back over at the McCulloughs, Howard comes right back at Betty for the things that she has been talking about for weeks. And here's a weird thing I was thinking. A lot of the characters in this show that have supernatural powers or otherworldly powers, they seem to work a lot of the time. For instance, recently we saw Billy 12 Trees cure Grandpa Larkin's lumbago with some kind of crazy chant, or Jimmy Joe Jeter's fixing the electronics at the recording studio with a prayer. And even some of the calls that Betty has been making have been weirdly on point. Like, she does seem to have some understanding of what's going on in people's lives, although I think she really misread what was going on. And what Betty sees in her reading is that Howard is confused, and that she interprets that confusion as Howard is not gay. My take on this, if we were to take Betty's powers as to be somewhat real, is that Betty is reading that confusion, and that confusion is really that Howard is a closeted gay man, and that is a confusing place to be, as much as I understand about being closeted about anything. So anyway, Howard gives it to Betty. Even if she has some powers, she may have misread what was going on. And then finally we come back to the Hartman residence, where Mary is getting it from all sides. Betty comes over and blames Mary for everything in Mary's own relationship, in Howard and Ed's relationship, and Howard and Betty's relationship. And that's all stuff that I cannot say Mary directly had anything to do with. Yes, she did kiss Howard, but I think of that as fairly innocent. One of our commenters, What Is Going On, suggests that Mary is very selfless and gives herself to problems. I think that's the energy that Mary came to this with. She wanted to be helpful. I think that Mary often helps people without considering how it may affect her life, or that in some ways she helps people to ignore the problems in her own life. But that, I'm not going to blame Mary for the problems between Howard and Ed or Howard and Betty. I think that Mary does have some responsibility for the problems in Mary and Tom's relationship. I'm not going to say that she's completely without guilt there, but that was completely undeserved. And speaking of undeserved, Kathy comes right in, and Cleet, I don't think, really even knows Mary at all. So I'm not sure why Mary's getting that fight. Mary has nothing to do with Cleet and Kathy, and I think maybe it's just that Mary was very stressed out and Kathy reflected that emotion back at her, and that just escalated, because things are escalating a lot with our characters this week, apparently. And two more nails in the coffin, the phone line, the helpline that Mary was volunteering for, is getting shut off because a bill is not getting paid. How do you volunteer for something and then have to pay a bunch of money to do that volunteering? That doesn't make any sense to me. And that is one of Mary's coping mechanisms, is helping other people. I know, Mary, deal with your own problems first, but I get it. When you lose a coping mechanism, that's not a good thing. And finally, that last nail in this coffin is that the flight patterns over the Hartman residence are not changing, and it is just it's just not good for her. I need to take a breath. So that is our June 28th, 1976 episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Thank you so much for coming along, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.